Yo, what up, guys? There's new patch notes for the public test update, and I just wanted to go over it real fast. Came out like 4 hours ago while I was sleeping. So let's just get into it. So the TLDR patch notes are: Battle Brother is now renamed to Twig. Multiple adrenaline tweaks. Multiple tweaks to bear and vile behavior, as well as various bug fixes. So the bottle tar blob now has the correct model when being thrown. Not sure what it was before. Frost blobs are actually weak against fire and resistant to frost. Maybe I should aggro. Made tweaks to make knives better for combat on slopes. Wooden greatsword is now repairable at the workbench. Wooden weapons now have an appropriate block power. Wooden at-gears are now a bit more rare to find, which I assume that means they were rare to find to begin with. Wooden sword and wooden greatsword actually sound wood. Using mage staves directly after dodging no longer grants an abnormal amount of adrenaline. I guess it gave a bunch of adrenaline before, where now it doesn't. Staff of Embers and Staff of Fracturing now only grant adrenaline on use instead of on hit, as you can see there. I guess there was some things maybe with hitting multiple enemies that caused it to be a bit broken. Staff of Frost now only gives 1 adrenaline per hit instead of 2, so I guess that makes sense. AoE attacks, like the Demolisher and the Sledge, now also give adrenaline. Where I guess they didn't before. Adrenaline granted when staggering enemies is now reduced from 5 to 3. That might not be... I still got 5 from that. Well, it's supposed to be 3. Oh no, that's a parry. Wait. Well, you get the idea. Killing Seeker Broods now grants less adrenaline than before. I guess there was some method of killing a bunch of seekers to get your adrenaline up high. The Skull Splitnir now only requires a Black Forge level 1 instead of a level 3. The Skull Splitnir now also emits a bit of light, similar to other weapons of its kind. I think it looks very nice. The Skull Splitnir and the Black Metal Battle Axe are now held properly. I guess they weren't held properly before. I didn't notice, but now they are. The Fragrant Bundle, fresh seaweed and thistle can now be placed on horizontal item stands. And they can also be shifted down like that as well. And they can place them straight up. The Bearskin Rug no longer flickers. I guess it flickered before. Bears and vials now only take 4 seconds to disappear instead of 8 seconds. They did take a long time to disappear before, I have to admit. Bears can now swim. Which is horrifying and accurate to real life. You do not want to be in this situation, let me tell you. Vials should now drop rotten meat, as well as their other things upon death. That is true. Vials are now actually part of the Plains faction instead of the Undead faction, which means no longer getting other Plains mobs to try to help and kill them. You can still get tar pits to try to attack them. I don't know if I agree with this change, honestly. Trinkets are now craftable at the forge instead of at the workbench. And for the Ashlands and Mistlands trinkets, they're both available in the Black Forge instead. Both trinkets and things in the utility slot are now visible on the character at the same time. You see I have the belt and the necklace. You can no longer dodge while over encumbered. Which is true. The stairs to stone portals should now be climbable. Which is true. It was kind of annoying how you had to jump up to get on top of the fucking portal. But now you can just walk on top. Isn't that so nice? The carvings on Fodder's sacrificial stone have emissions to match the others. I guess it was different. I didn't notice. Cores no longer automatically get put in your hotbar when picked up, and they can still be placed in item stands. Or they can now be placed in item stands, I guess. Now for some weird patch notes. Looking at a beehive or an archery target while another player disconnects from the server no longer causes the game to crash. Fighting Yagluth no longer crashes on Xbox. There is no longer null reference exceptions when some projectiles hit the shield gen. Sledges can hit enemies through fractured mine rocks. Fixed an issue where Toy could be deconstructed multiple times in multiplayer, and fixed a bug that caused the GUI not to update matchmaking data. So, that's it. Nothing new really has been added. Just some patch notes to fix the game a little bit. So yeah, if you like the patch notes, I don't know, like or something. But that's it for this video. Until next time, see ya.